Good morning, today is day 56 of losing 60 pounds in 90 days. As with every morning on this challenge, as well as the past 2 years, I start it off with a morning drink consisting of a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar for digestion health, 5 to 15 grams of creatine monohydrate for cognitive function and muscular protection, and then a fourth a teaspoon of Baja Gold sea salt for electrolyte replenishment. Since I just went 8 hours without water, my body will absorb the water and be hydrated a lot quicker with that. Cheers. Let's get the day started. This breakfast is 845 calories because of the fat content. There is 5 whole eggs, 4 of them cooked to perfection, and then a full Dave's Killer Bagel with 2 tablespoons of whipped cream cheese. And then on the side, I have 3 chicken weenies, air fried, 8 minutes, 400, and then doused with 5 grams of all natural raw honey, and then sprinkled on some pink salt. The total macros of this are 56 grams of protein, 54 grams of carbohydrates, and 45 grams of fat. Every time I'm drinking caffeine, I'm making sure I have L-theanine. 200 milligrams in 1 capsule. I find that it just takes the jitters away that come with the coffee, and I just really get the focus and energy, divine intervention on my mind to think clearly. We're fed, caffeinated, time to rip the gym. Today's workout was mainly cardio, and then I was gonna do some arms with it as well. So to break up the cardio, just make it more enjoyable and where I don't slack, I try and break it up with 15 minutes before actual lifting and then 15 minutes after, just on 5 incline, 3 speed for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then I moved on to my first tricep exercise, which is going to be a straight bar overhead tricep extension. I try and just keep my elbows still and pivot back and forth, getting a deep stretch every time, 3 sets of 15 reps. And then for my first bicep exercise, I did a single arm, almost like trying to get a deep stretch on the bicep, because that is where the true gains come from. So letting it come all the way back at the start of every movement, not like hyperextending the elbow, but just making sure I'm getting from literally starting point 0 to a full contraction for a second on each rep. You can also do this with 2 arms. For the second tricep exercise, I did a single arm tricep extension on the cable. I like this one. It's really focused on contraction because with the handle placement, like, you're not going to be able to move that much weight. Same thing for the bicep. My single arm exercise is a preacher curl hammer curl. So a preacher hammer curl. This is a great exercise for also working the forearm area and that front facing point of the actual bicep. To add in some shoulders, just because it's something I'm trying to really build right now, I did some Arsenal Strength lateral raise machine. I just did 4 sets of 15 reps, trying to lead and think about raising the weight with my elbows. And that just really helps try and hit that medial or lateral delt on the side. And then just to finish off the workout, I did another 15 minutes of cardio on 5 incline and 3 speed. One of the biggest things that I've done in this journey so far is not just rehydrating after workouts with strictly water. Adding in electrolytes is so important because even if you're not sweating a lot, like, you're still peeing out these very vital nutrients that keep our body hydrated and actually latch onto the water and keep them in our body. And so using electrolytes with like potassium and salt is going to keep you hydrated and rehydrate you a lot better than just relying on solely water, because you're actually peeing out more nutrients by doing that. Then I always make sure I try and get in protein. I ideally like a meal, but I went for a supplement, so I did 3 scoops of whey isolate protein powder just with some water. You can also use almond milk, but it just adds on some calories, and save 100 calories there. You can add it into a meal, and that's it. One of the pictures that I'll pop up right here, I actually took this picture while I was hiking one of the trails in the Red Rock Canyon National Park here in Nevada. And it was really cool. Hiked for about 4 hours and got to see outside the city just some of the beautiful natural delights that this world has. This photo, I hung it because I like hanging pictures that I actually take of nature, and also it's just I don't know, it makes you feel something. It makes me feel something because I hiked that exact spot, so it has a memory drawn to it. And I just think that the shot itself is really beautiful. So Friday night, like I had said on my previous video, I had a friend come. I had 3 drinks of alcohol, and I just want to go over how it affected my sleep. So I'm going to pull up Whoop. And so Friday, February 20th, this is showing basically the day before on the sleep and recovery, and then the strain is that day. So had an okay recovery at 76%, 93% sleep, and then a good strain of 14.7. That's basically just how hard I worked out. And then I had 3 drinks that night. And I had 58% recovery and 84% sleep, and then 6 strain because I literally barely did any workout. I just walked at the park for an hour. Let's see, and it was only 4.8 strain. And so it really wrecked my recovery. And not that I need the reminder, but it does show just how much alcohol affects the body. I didn't even put it in there that I had alcohol, and already knew just based on my sleep pattern and my resting heart rate and heart rate variability that I had consumed probably alcohol, because there's not much else that tanks it that bad, because I did get the good amount of sleep of 8 hours, but still the recovery wasn't there. And didn't have any more alcohol, and you can see the bounce back in recovery, and it only improves from there to today. And I worked out a lot harder the days post, but alcohol just messes with our body so much. And even just after a couple of drinks, I was like, I don't even know why. You know, you stop something for a while and you're like, yeah, I miss that feeling. And then you like, at least with alcohol, I was like, I really have no need to ever do this again in my life. Like, I don't enjoy anything about it, the taste, the feeling, and especially what happens the day, night after I stop drinking. But living a healthy lifestyle and alcohol, they just don't go hand in hand. And there's no argument that can be made. If you want to drink alcohol, I mean, do your thing. It's just, I have learned from a data standpoint and from just a subjective feeling standpoint that alcohol is like really no place in my life if I want to feel my best. The second thing is, I only have one watch on, and it's a Whoop. I wouldn't even call it a watch, but I do look at it like 15 times a day, expecting to see the time. That's the only annoying thing about Whoop, is that there is no watch face. So I'm probably just gonna get a normal analog watch and then keep the Whoop on. But the data tracking between Apple Watch and Whoop is like not even comparable. Apple Watch basically barely tracks this stuff, and I don't feel like it's very accurate, especially when it comes to recovery and sleep. I'm getting completely different numbers on my Whoop and Apple Watch, and I feel way more confident in the Whoop's data compared to the Apple Watch data. There's just way more metrics that are going into the Whoop than in the Apple Watch. On the fitness burning side, I kind of consider them both. I'm just more focused on time, heart rate, and intensity for cardio, and then volume, weight actually moved, and plus time under tension for the actual weight training. So I'm not basing my workouts really on either of those, but I do like the recovery and sleep tracking a lot better on the Whoop. I am doing an hour of cardio every day now, so I just try and break it up. I did 30 minutes during that workout, and then I just locked in for another 30 minutes on the home treadmill. Really liking having a treadmill at home. I know it is a very privileged thing. This thing was like $170, but I just love having it. It's not as nice as the ones in the gym in terms of like feel, but I get to have cardio in a lot more throughout the day, and so it's just a true blessing. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.